Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Then we can be assured that other nations will not treat America with respect, the respect that we deserve.
What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video. And today, it is time we talk about a state that I don't think I've ever talked about. Again, just like Washington, just like Oregon, I never talk about these states. But this is a race that I've lost so many brain cells listening to people on Twitter, you know, the election community, all that stuff about how Utah will be going to McMullen and all this garbage. Well, I'm getting so annoyed by it that I'm making a full video on this whole Utah race. You know, showing people that, you know, McMullen, he's not going to win. He's not going to come close to winning. Give me a break. Now, before we forget, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes. So, in Utah, we have a very unique circumstance where it's not a Democrat versus a Republican. I mean, the Democrats, I mean, their main candidate's this guy. Sir, who are you? Just, who are you? So essentially, Democrats are really a non-factor here. Libertarians are not a factor either, but there is one candidate I gotta talk about. This guy, Evan McMullen, or as, you know, Red Eagle likes to call McMuffin. One of the worst independent/Republicans in the history of this country. Evan McMullen, I hate this guy. This guy I absolutely despise. I mean, I hate him more than Clinton. That's how much I hate this guy, because he grifts off of people by extreme amounts. I mean, he claims to be, you know, a conservative. I mean, back in 2016, he claimed to be a true conservative. Well, you see here, this clown here is not a conservative whatsoever. In fact, he is the closest thing to a neocon you could get to. I mean, look up what he believed in 2016 about foreign affairs, about transgenderism, and all that crap. I mean, my God, this guy is awful. And of course, he's a former CIA guy. So what do you expect? And plus, the funniest part about this whole race is, look at all these endorsements people say. I mean, Adam Kinzinger, I mean, Ben McAdams. Who cares what Ben McAdams thinks? Who cares what Kissing Ass thinks? Who cares what Joe Walsh thinks? And who cares what Michael Steele thinks? I mean, who cares? None of these guys are relevant to Utah politics. Maybe Ben McAdams, because he was a mayor of Salt Lake County, but still, who cares? Who honestly cares what these clowns think about this race? And you look here, I mean, there's really no main candidates from Utah here. I mean, sure, you had a couple mayors here and there, but that's about it. And there's only one organization that endorsed McMullen, which we'll get to in a second, but of course, it's Renew America Movement. You could probably guess where this is going. But overall, I mean, he has no relevant support. I mean, you look at his fundraising numbers, it's all out-of-state numbers. Nothing's in-state. I mean, it's like $5, I think it is. Then, of course, you actually have a Republican that does matter, you know, Mike Lee. And he has a very interesting voting pattern. At times, he seems very based. I mean, at times, he looks like one of the best Republicans in the Senate. At other times, though, well, this face demonstrates everything. I mean, at times, he's really good. At times, he's not so good. But overall, he's still probably one of the best Republicans from Utah. And, of course, his endorsements are really, who gives a shit? I mean, who cares what Club for Growth thinks? Who cares what Freedom Works thinks? All that stuff. But the point is, at least either, you know, real organizations that, you know, may matter to a couple voters. Unlike McMullen, I mean, none of these guys matter. I mean, none of these people matter. And this organization here, it's gonna be funny when you hear about this organization, but the point is, McMullen is even losing according to polls. I mean, Predictive Insights, one of those polls that, you know, good luck trying to predict if it's correct or not. Lee is winning by 12 points. And even if this 30%, you know, breaks heavy for McMullen, Mike Lee would still win in that circumstance. And even down here, Mike Lee is a clear frontrunner. And people seemingly forget that in 2016, Mike Lee won this race by 41. 41. And also, people seemingly forget that McMullen barely cracked 20%. He did worse than Clinton. I thought Utah was a state that loved McMuffin Man. Well, that's bullshit. I mean, you look at this, I mean, it just, yeah, he did good in Salt Lake County, but that's it. That's the only part of the state that he did relatively decent in. I mean, the northern half where, you know, the Mormon population is extreme in the state, but dear God, Salt Lake, I think, is pretty sure where the capital of the freaking Mormons are. But the point is this, I mean, the fact that he could barely crack 20% in 2016 against one of the most unfavorable Republicans ever to the Mormon vote, and even less so for Democrats. I mean, Hillary Clinton, she was despised by a lot of Mormons. He still couldn't crack 21%. Give me a break, this guy is going to win. And speaking of that, I mean, you look at McMullen's, you know, page. I mean, look at this. This is pathetic. I mean, look at this. His first thing is strengthen our democracy. Really? Why? Ensuring voting rights for all eligible voters. I mean, really, why? I mean, again, why is this guy considered a quote-unquote true conservative? It's like, no. This guy is clearly a shill. I mean, he just talks nothing about, I was part of the CIA, all that garbage. And he's complaining about partisan gerrymandering, which of course he's talking about, you know, Ohio's gerrymander, but doesn't talk about California's. I mean, it's like, why? Like, maybe this one's good, but we all know what that means. He's talking about, you know, private businesses. The CIA, though, they should have unlimited funding. And again, you read this page, I mean, it conflicts itself. He wants to lower healthcare costs, but reduce spending and inflation. Yeah, you could theoretically do both, but, I mean, it's kind of ironic that you have these two right next to each other. I mean, it's like, come on, and, like, yeah, keep America safe sounds good, but of course, it's everything Trump did! It's every single thing Trump did! And he's supposedly the anti-Trump candidate. These are literally, like, all this stuff pretty much you read. I mean, look at this, improving Western forest management. Trump did that. Develop water conservation. Trump did nearly all of this. He's running on the Trump candidate. And by the way, if you're wondering about this organization that seems so spooky, oh, the Renew America movement, they seem spooky. Well, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen before. So, Renew America, these are the candidates they've endorsed. Yeah. These are the candidates that are true patriots. Liz Cheney, a true patriot. Sure, she may have sent a bunch of patriots to die in Afghanistan and Iraq, but still, she's a true patriot. I mean, like, look at this. Tom Rice, Mark Kelly, it's like, what? And you go down here, these even worse candidates. Patrick Schmidt? I mean, it's like, who are these people fooling? And this is the funniest part here. The dividers. Oh my god, these are the neo-Nazis. Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, all that. Bob Good? They really think Bob Good and Burgess Owens are like dividers. They are Nazis. It's like these guys are a clown show. I mean, they really think Kevin McCarthy, like, give me a break about these people. But it's like, okay, what's else so special about the organization? Well, look who co-founded it. Look who co-founded this organization. Evan McMullen. His own organization endorsed himself. You see why this is a joke? See why I don't want to talk about this? The only endorsements are people from nowhere near Utah, people that have not been relevant to Utah for years now, or they may be relevant, but who gives a shit? And his organization is endorsing himself. I mean, it's pathetic. Guys, this is why don't spend your time on this race. Don't waste your time anything. McMullen's going to get crushed. I mean, just like, if Trump almost cracked 60% here in 2016, do you really think McMullin would do better against freaking Mike Lee? Just stop talking about this race. Nobody gives a shit about McMullin. Mike Lee's going to win this race easily. Again, this is more of a joke video. I mean, this is a clown show. I mean, look at these co-founders. You notice they all have the same, just why? But why do these people have to exist? I mean, they're all neocons or neoliberals. This guy, by the way, is awful. Just, yeah, that's that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, thank you guys so much for watching this, clown show of video. If you did, again, smash the like button down below and all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.